Oh, sleep. That's a thing. That's a thing I've talked at length about on this here YouTube channel. With the prevailing sentiment seeming to be that I'm not able to change my sleep schedule for reasons. I usually just go back to this idea that, well, I've always had it inconsistent and I've tried everything, so that's the reason why I can't fix my sleep schedule. But what I've been trying to do is trying to be more active. You know, if you move around a bunch before you sleep, and if you try to sleep at generally the same time, and I mean getting into bed and laying down, after you've had a day of doing a bunch of things, then you're probably going to have an easier time. Um, Something I've come to realize is that as I've gotten older, the problem that I had when I was in school of not being able to get to sleep very easily, I think was more so tied to stress than some kind of like inherent problem in my brain. Like, this is something that I've been able to observe as a trend throughout my life is that the times where I've had a lot of trouble sleeping were usually tumultuous, lots of things going on, lots of bad things going on. And the times where I've had the best sleep have been the times where life has been generally going pretty well. And there would be no reason to keep myself from lying down because there would be no prevailing thoughts in my head that would be bothering me. That to lay down in bed wouldn't be a frightening concept because there wouldn't be things that would be frightening that would pop into my head the moment that I take the headphones out or um, the moment that I try to get to sleep, there wouldn't be anything like making my heart race because there'd be nothing to race about. And so, the two things that I've been doing to sleep at a similar time each day, and I think it's been about a week and a half of doing this, is that I've been sleeping at like 12 at night, sometimes 11. You know, it's not like the exact same time in the most literal sense, but it's like, at least like 30 minutes between each other, basically. And so, what I've been doing is I've been trying to move around more, trying to get out, see the sun in your eyes. I mean, just right now, the thing that's lighting my room is actually natural light. It's not the light from the ceiling because first of all, the light's out, but it's the light from the window. Because what I had was there was a blanket over the window that I used to cover the light from coming in from the curtains because the curtains are quite thin. So I'd put a blanket in front of it just to keep the light out. But then eventually, what I realized is that I much prefer the natural light just coming into the room from the normal light. Like the normal light doesn't really feel good to have on your skin. It doesn't really look good. It's just kind of there. And I think sort of like my aversion to being out in the sun more so came from spending so much time not in the sun than any like direct problems that I correlated to it. Because, like, you can get used to the sun, you just have to be out in the sun a bunch. And then, like, I had spent so long, with all my windows completely covered without ever going out. I'm talking months and months here, sometimes years at points, that I completely forgot what it was like to have my eyes adjusted to being out. I completely forgot, the sort of emotional component to regularly interacting with people and needing that, because I believed that I could just substitute all of my interactions onto the internet when you can't. You have to be going out. You have to be seeking new experiences and being out in the sun to get the essential vitamins that you wouldn't have got otherwise. Um, is there something that just feels good that people like when they go out in the sun? It's just naturally programmed into us. And so, when you spend so much time without doing that, completely isolating yourself, of course you're going to have strain on your eyes from trying to go out because your eyes aren't used to that. Your eyes just haven't adjusted. And that's what I was talking about in my what was it called? It was the video where I was trying to get a job. It was like adjusting my eyes to sunlight or something. Is that like I felt like a vampire when I walked outside of the house because it had been so long since I had like regularly gone outside and it was so bright that like my eyes had been hurting and like I couldn't properly see out. That was the thing, is that like my eyes were just so fundamentally not used to that. Whereas I look at myself now, and now I regularly go out. I just have the window opened, and I get light this way, and it feels so much better. Why didn't I do that earlier? I built so much of my identity around being this guy who never leaves their room, who's just always in their house, big spook. Oh, I'm not like the other girls over here. I'm like a spooky type thing going on. And it's dumb. It's very, very dumb. And so yeah.